welcome back, Pokemon Go players, to another episode of the Purified podcast. Today is May 8th, 2022. I am your host, Luis Palacios, with my co-host, Grace.
Hey, it's your boy, Pokemon Trigger, please. And holy cow, when you thought the weeks couldn't get any more exciting, it just keeps piling on news every single week, man.
I know, right? It's incredible of the thing. Of the Pokemon Go just gives us like weekly news, so I mean I'm glad for the reason that I can talk about this. I know there's maybe like one or two where we haven't had the news anyways, but it's still pretty exciting. We talk about and rant Pokemon Go because we love the game just as much as you do. But yeah, we talk about Pokemon Go news updates and everything else like that. I already messed up the intro, so what the heck? At this point, let's just go. Let's roll with it. Before I know, right? Before, let me sure we start here. Let's remind everybody that we are part of the Professor Network. Check out professornetwork.com/Purified Podcast. Wonderful people to work with every single day, every single time, and every single day. All right. Before we start, also, I actually got a Latias check here. Did I make a Latias? Can I get the shiny? Can I get the Shando? Can I get anything?
Yes.
Kapow! Not a shiny. Definitely not the Hondo. Definitely not. But I'll take the extra large candy. Why am I getting more Premier Balls than when I was doing in-person raids? I got like 15 Premier Balls this time around.
Maybe it just loves you.
I don't get it.
It just wants to get caught.
I don't get it. Okay, whatever. I'll catch this whenever we get the chance. When I get a chance, hopefully. But let's recap. Let's go into what happened last week. We have things: shinies, Hondos, PvP months. What do we got, Chris?
All right. I'll start it out with a lucky trade that I did with one of our friends, Gio, when we did in-person raids.
Yeah.
I didn't get any shiny Latias or Latios from the in-person raids we did. I know I did show up like 20 minutes late, but it was awesome getting the raid all together. I ended up trading Geo, and I actually got a 14, 14, 15 lucky shiny Latios, and it was my first one, so I was very excited for that. Bob Swaggins, hello.
Bob Swaggins, thank you.
I actually used my gacha for the first time in forever, and literally the first day I got another shiny thanks to it. Got a shiny Wingull coming on in. Which literally I talked to you that day about wanting to get another shiny Wingull, so I thought that was funny. I was able to snag another shiny Latios with Mist Ball this time, so I'm always excited to get the shinies with the special moves. And actually, I was very excited for this. I got a shiny Pikachu, the flying one.
Oh, bro, come on.
So I was super excited about that. I think for 4 stars, the only thing I have is I have a Shadow, what's it called, Starly, that I need to purify to be a Hundo. I just haven't purified it yet, but I likely will.
Okay, all right.
Because there's no reason to keep it a Shadow.
That's good. I gotta change that handle eventually. Sorry, but yeah, no. You got some good stuff, anyways. I'm still trying to catch this Latios. So before I move on to my stuff, because unfortunately this Latios doesn't want to get in the ball. Let's recap a little bit of how last week went. So we had the whole air balloon, like fly adventures kind of deal. Just like Chris has said, Pikachu with the balloons are respawning in the wild. A lot of flying type Pokemons, a lot of rocket balloons. For some reason, I don't know. Was this part of the event? I don't know if I read this right last time when we were doing the podcast. But did they mention anything about having rocket balloons literally every single hour?
Shoot. I don't remember that. But I wouldn't completely count it out of the water since, we had the Pikachu with the balloons. So it seems kind of fitting.
Well, the Pikachu balloon was expected. And this Latias just went away. because he wants to. But anyways, but that's the thing. I don't remember actually talking that the rocket balloons were going to be every hour, and then the event started, and everyone was like, "Oh, we're getting it every hour." Like, what the f?
Maybe it was just a pleasant surprise.
Maybe. I just not entirely sure when that happens. But yeah, so I don't know. I figure that maybe something.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. I mean, I'm fine. The only problem was that every single balloon we were getting was either a flying type Pokemon, a bug type Pokemon, or a rock type Pokemon. And I was just not having it.
Shuckle all day, boy.
That's for sure.
I'll take it all day, boy.
That's for sure. But that's the thing. I wasn't like super excited. Like at one point, I got super bored because it was literally the same lineup every time. However, though, during the beginning of the event, I believe Niantic once again messed up, but this was a good messed up, basically. People were actually getting shiny from the grunts. People were getting, I believe, the Venonat shiny.
Oh my!
And something else. What was it? I know there was another Pokemon.
Was it Grimer?
No, there was no Grimers because it was the flying type ones, and there was actually another Pokemon. Anyways,
Gligar, maybe.
I cannot be sure.
I'm not sure.
I have to check. Yeah. I have to recheck a few things, anyways. But no, so that was the glitch at the beginning of the event, but they fixed it like midway through the event, and nobody really noticed. It just kind of went away because you were not getting the designated shadow Pokemons that you were getting. So it seemed interesting, but again, it just didn't go the way that it was. So. And then after that, they're just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna take it away. And I'm just like, why? Why are you doing this to me? I don't get it.
We're not gonna give you your cake and let you eat it too. Come on.
And that's not the case. I mean, I wanted one of those. But anyways, I'm getting invited to another Latia, so I'll just go ahead and join that because I can.
Change.
Six players. That'll be fine. Anyway, and I guess I can't really get onto my shinies and Hondas while we got it. Well, I do remember for sure that I did not get any Hondas this week. Surprisingly enough. I know.
Yeah, don't worry, you'll get it from this raid.
Probably. Just get a Shando right because of it, you know? Oh my god. Don't jinx me, brother. It could happen still. But yeah, so I did actually get quite a bit of shiny Latias because of all the raiding that we've been doing between the remotes and the in-person ones. I was happy enough to get 3 shiny Latias, and this was actually my 3 first like caught shiny Latias without trading and everything. I had one from a trade, and it was pretty cool, but I wanted my own, and I'm lucky to finally get a few. I'm still waiting a couple of Latios, but unfortunately, I'm not as lucky anymore. Plus, Latios is really, really hard to raid at this point. So, it is what it is. But yeah, I didn't get much. As for PvP, because the Shadow Pokemons really haven't gotten too much wellness on it, I don't think I really got that many PvP Pokemons around. So, which, this week we have a lot of talk about too in PvP section. And it's going to be interesting. But yeah, so the flying event, the Air Balloon Adventures, whatever the case, the Air Adventures, I do believe it was actually a pretty good event. The spawns were actually pretty nice in all aspects of the game. We had the half distance on X2s, and we were hatching, things like Noibat, Togepi, all these kinds of Pokemons that usually you don't see in the pool there. And it was a very small pool for 7kx, so I was hatching a lot. One in my Hondo Noibat. Unfortunately, I only got a 98. Mm-hmm. But yeah, after that, it was more like catch, try to check for everything. The wild Charizards were actually pretty cool to see every now and then, dude.
Everywhere. And
it was fun to just click on a Charizard and be like, "It's a shiny? It's a shiny! Give me the shiny!"
I was praying. I only saw one person post about a shiny on Twitter.
Oh, really?
I didn't see anybody else get one.
I think
at least from what I saw.
I think JT Gill actually got 1 or 2. I think because he was hunting. He was really hunting for them. So, but it's kind of nice because you get this small pool of Pokemons that you never see normally, and then all of a sudden you see a Charizard pop up, and Charizard is still, one of the most popular Pokemons in the goddamn region.
Yeah.
No matter where you go, no matter how you play the game, Charizard will always be a popular Pokemon, anyways.
Yeah, one of the best shinies too.
True.
Sheesh.
So I want to say I want to give the rating of maybe 8.5, closer to 9 rating on this event. What do you like about this one?
I'd definitely give it a 9 or even a high 9.5. Somewhere in between there.
Yeah.
I think they really did a good job of picking some really fun megas.
Yes.
Right after the rework.
Yeah.
To megas.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think that was the main thing. I think just the fact it got at least our community together for the raids. It was really cool to see.
That's and that's something that we didn't really talk about. Like in-person raids, we actually got almost a full 20 lobby raid, in-person raid lobby during raid hour this week, and it was fun for the first time in a long time. I feel like we actually had the fun going around with other people, coordinating. Be like, okay, we'll go to this one, we'll go to this one, get the shiny. People were screaming shinies,
Yeah.
We were like, oh man, I haven't seen you in a while. We had the OG people out there, new people out there. I mean, it was still not as big of when it was when remote raiding was not a thing, of course. But that's because there are other ways to get the shinies and hondos at this point. There are many apps. I use one myself. It's called Pokegenie. And I basically raid there when I don't have the chance to raid outside of things, in any case of point. But I wanted to actually get there. Now, if you were doing in-person raids, you were getting the extra large candy the rare extra large candy. It wasn't like a super mega drop. You only get it like every once in a while. It was like probably 1 in every 5 raids or something like that. But either way, it was nice to see that the addition of that incentivized us to actually go play. And the 2 reasons that I actually mentioned to a lot of people is like, one is a brand new mega. It's legendary megas, so it's really hard to take down. Like Latios and Latios are really hard megas. They're tier 6 legendary Pokemons, which is the very first time we technically have a tier 6.
I was screaming.
We had we kind of had a tier like a pseudo tier 6 with Mewtwo at one point. But tier 6 was the recommended. So you needed to have not a full lobby, but you needed to at least have 5+ trainers, strong counters. You couldn't do it with 2 or 3 unless you really were going ham on it. Paper Cup, thank you so Janinas. But yeah, no, it was really, really hard, and people were excited about it, especially because of the Mega rework. It will help you actually get that. Do note that the Mega Energy was increased from the 2,000 cap to the 999 cap. So you can still earn Mega Energy and help out in the future. So any more thoughts about that, Chris?
In my opinion, it's a very strange number for it to cap out on, but I'm very happy that they raised it.
Yeah, definitely. So, it is what it is. I still feel like this is like a good incentive for people to go out and not have to waste everything remotely. If this is how they're going to move forward, then one of the suggestions that I will give to probably Niantic at this point is that if they're going to slowly make people go out and do in-person raids again, make the incentive a little bit higher, like especially on the extra large candy, or the decrease in remote raids has to be very minimal, or to start very minimal before we can actually say that remote raid is not worth it anymore. Which I'm sure they will still be there in many chances. But I do feel like they have to slowly trickle in more in-person race than just the regular remote race. Because if you think about it, remote race is still all the hype anyways. You can do it anytime.
I think a way that they could do it without angering a lot of people is legit the only change being that in-person is more likely to give you extra large rare. As long as you're doing the same amount of damage, I don't think that many people would still get annoyed by it. Don't get me wrong, no matter what you do, there's always going to be somebody complaining. But I do think that would make the most amount of people all right with it.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Toxic, thank you for joining us. But yeah, I agree. I do still feel like one. I guess one of the things that remote raters really did change the core aspect of rating was that there was no point of doing the new Pokemon, the new legendaries, without having to go out and actually go in there. Now, all the like let's take an example. The Tapus, they're gonna come back. They're gonna come back for the last few weeks of the month and the season, and unfortunately, I'm still not incentivized to actually go out and actually do raid hours or do anything like that for the Tapus. Why? Because there's no shiny, and two, they're not really that viable in any of the metas. I could always be wrong, because there's always something that's gonna change the metaverse of the of Pokemon Go, or any type of move changes or anything. But I still don't feel like there is enough incentive to go out unless they do the change that I'm talking about in some way that they will actually incentivize me. Like, hey, if you do this, you earn this much or this much or this kind of thing. It's kind of like, why we have it there while we can just do it remotely and do it whenever we can and whenever we want to. So I don't know. That's my thoughts. But again, yeah, I want to say that maybe a 9 is probably the best rating on the event. So we'll keep it at that for now. All right, let's get into the top research topics of the week. We got quite a bit of information, mostly because GoFest is just around the corner. Literally, a month for the global and 2 months for the in-person ones. So we already have information about the very first in-person GoFest in Berlin. So Chris, how about you take us away for a little bit of what's going on in Berlin this year for GoFest?
All right. I know a lot of people are excited. Obviously, Pokemon GoFest events are back. And, the first stop is in Berlin, Germany, from Friday, July 1st, right around the corner, 2022, to Sunday, July 3rd, 2022. Britzer Garten will host a special Pokemon Go experience complete with unique features, giveaways, and more. Come celebrate with your fellow trainers in the heart of Europe. Okay, so general admission tickets are going to be on sale for $24.99, including applicable taxes. And early access tickets are on sale for $32.13. Interesting, including applicable taxes.
Do know that this is in the currency of the country.
Yes, which I believe is euros.
Yes.
Tickets are limited and will be available for purchase while supplies last on a first-come, first-served basis.
Mm-hmm.
Trainers who purchase a ticket to GoFest Berlin will be able to enjoy the following highlights in Britzer Garten. Oh boy. You get to explore Britzer Garten to complete event-exclusive special research and encounter Skyform Shaman. Awesome. Enjoy event-themed field research tasks. Shiny Panseer and Shiny Fungus will make their Pokemon Go debut during the event. If you're lucky, you may encounter one.
Obviously.
That's an interesting way of them putting it.
Right.
A special a special version of the Pokemon Go Fest 2022 t-shirt will be available exclusively at this and other in-person Pokemon Go Fest 2022 events. You gotta pick them up. It's awesome.
Right, obviously.
Meet your favorite creators at our autograph sessions. Yeah, that's always fun. Explore 4 real-world habitats, 2 of which are unique to the Berlin event. Interesting. And make exciting Pokemon discoveries. Each habitat will have its own collection challenge. You can encounter the following Pokemon in each habitat: the Electric Garden, Hisuian Voltorb, Combee, Fungus, Helioptile, and more. Windy Coast, Phoebus, Clamperl, Panpour, Woobat, and more. Living Meadow, Galarian Ponyta, Scyther, Yanma, Pansage, and more. Molten Rocks, Cranidos, Pansear, Roggenrola, Daramaka, and more. Dude, I like that name, man. Molten Rocks.
This is a stag. Yeah, I know, right? This is a stag.
Yeah. I'm surprised there's only 4 though.
There's
make up. Okay. Make up to 6 special trades and enjoy a reduced Stardust cost for every trade made during event hours. Be sure to visit the trading post to meet and trade with trainers at the event. I do like that they have a specified area for that.
Oh yeah.
Test yourself against other trainers in the battleground. Take a snapshot at the event for a surprise. Awesome. And have fun catching Pokemon and meeting your fellow trainers. Very nice way to round it off at the end there.
Yes, definitely.
If you're going to be there, all trainers in Berlin will have access to special Pokemon GOFest 2022 raids, including Cresselia and Darkrai in 5-star raids, which I'm sure people can invite to those raids.
Yeah. So if you're in Berlin, if you want to join us, or at least send us a couple of invites here and there, we would really appreciate it.
Yeah, Darkrai though.
I can go for both. I don't really mind for both. Darkrai though.
I got a shiny 98 Cresselia.
Okay,
so
all right.
I don't really care much for it.
Okay. The tickets are available now, so if you are planning to go to Berlin, then definitely check it out or go and try to buy the tickets. Again, the event, you will actually have to pick a day where you play. So it's not like you're going to play the entire weekend. Just make sure you pick a day where you're going to play, and in that gameplay day, you're going to play, basically. So just make sure of that. Of course, there is a little bit more of information here that kind of got the community a little bit hyped and a little bit, I want to say, not hyped. I don't know how to really say it at this point, but it's the optional add-ons that you get here that you can purchase. Now, what does this mean? Well, it says, as a new addition to our live events, we're offering trainers the chance to enhance their event experience with special optional add-ons. These add-ons can only be purchased when you purchase your live event ticket and cannot be added later. Add-on bonuses will be active from Friday, July 1st to Sunday, July 3rd, so it is for the full weekend. And will only be active within the hours of Pokemon GOFest location duration of the tickets. Ray Lover add-on will be another £10. This add-on grants up to 12 in-person Ray passes, not remote, I'm sorry. Ray passes total for each day by spinning photo snips at gyms. An additional 5,000 experience after each raid you complete successfully, and 6 additional candy and 3 extra large additional candy XL after catching Pokemon in 5-star raids. There is a critical catch add-on for another £10. Hatch eggs in 1/4 of the normal distance. This bonus does not stack with other similar bonuses and earn double the experience, double the candy, and double the status for hatching the eggs. What are your thoughts about this, Chris, before I go
on? It's kind of strange to me, a bit of it. The main thing I'm looking at is the 3 additional candy extra large after catching Pokemon in 5-star raids.
Right.
I'm assuming that means 6 extra large candy. If you like extra large candy, fabulous.
Right.
I mean, the £10 for 12 raids, that's a decent deal. Not fantastic, but, £10 for that XP and everything. I don't know how I feel about it, honestly, because usually they come in bundles. So you're paying, $10 for raid passes and a few other things.
So you're already paying, so here's the thing. You're already paying for the event and the things that are going to happen throughout the live event. Adding all of this just for an extra experience bonus, like extra large candy, regular candy experience rates, and all that, I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, you're already spending enough to be able to do this. Why add another, the same things that we usually would get in a normal event, like community day or things like that, or raid days or raid hours or anything like that, and not included in the already part of the actual live event. Like, I don't understand why Niantic wants to split this up and give us a hard time when it comes down to it, you know? Like, yeah, all those additional passes add on to the cost, all those extra experience add on if you're looking to actually, you know, level up quickly with the Lucky Egg is pretty cool. Extra large candy is always welcome. But I feel like they're trying to monetize a little too much of this, and I'm not sure how to feel about it, really.
I mean, my main thing with this is, you know, raids and everything. Yes, they're fun, but they're gonna take away the amount of time that you're spending spinning stops, clicking on Pokemon in the wild, you know, just everything else that's like actually like in the event. Yes, the raids are there, but you need to stand in one place for what 2-3 minutes for each
I
raid.
mean, if they had like the ready button and just be able to do it, then that's fine.
Yeah,
But that
exactly.
also kind of like moves away from the community aspect of it, and I think that that's very important. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still a little bit wonky how this could go. I may or may not, depending on what the information for our GoFest in Seattle is going to be. So we definitely have a lot of things going on when it comes down to it, and I hope that this is not something that the community will rage more about in the future.
Oh, dude, no matter what.
Oh, it's good.
I will say I do like that they have like a kind of like you tailor it to whatever you like kind of thing.
Yeah.
I will say the £10 for, you know, hatching the eggs. I know a lot of people are gonna jump on that.
That's true, but you're basically
The
spending
other
the
one,
pounds. I mean, you're spending the extra pounds just for the 1-4 hash distance. You definitely got to be
yeah,
walking a lot during the event. So it's not like you're really missing a lot, depending on what the bonus is during the time. Especially because there is other bonuses though throughout the event or throughout the month that they're gonna add on, and we're not sure what other events are there. Like July is gonna be full GoFest experience.
yeah.
We're gonna have all that information there, so it's gonna be interesting in its own regard. But I don't know. I'll see what the thoughts are if once my ticket actually goes live, or you know our tickets go live, and what are the incentives of it in the end of the day, if it's actually worth it. I know I am in the grind of level 50, but I'm that close already. Like literally, I could finish it up before. If I'm go a little bit harder on a lot of different things, I could be level 50 before GoFest starts.
Oh yeah.
So
The only thing I can see is, you know, somebody paying for the Raid Lover add-on for that 5,000 XP
which
every raid.
it adds up. Now, if I had
Yeah,
mega legendary raids and that, then I'm all for it. Just because the experience is just so juicy at that point.
yeah,
You know?
it'd be insane with a Lucky Egg going too.
Right. I mean, just by itself,
That's
mega
the only
legendary
thing I can
raids.
think.
Yeah. At this point, legendary mega raids, tier 6 are giving you 10,300 experience. No, 10,000 or 13,000 experience, I think, for
Yeah,
a raid. Plus a lucky egg is almost 26.
yeah, it's crazy.
So it is definitely an add-on that it incentivizes people to get it, but things like that. Now, we haven't really talked about all the spawns that are coming in now. Of course, new shinies, definitely. Fungus is finally getting a shiny, which we were waiting for a while. Pampor also getting a shiny, so I'm guessing that they're going to release the shiny in the other GoFest that way too. So that Pokemon is finally getting his shiny love. Skyform Shaman, though. Now, that's an interesting one. I believe that they're also going to release it in the other GoFests, but I'm not entirely sure. We will get regular landform Shaman during the Global GoFest in June. So we'll definitely have 2 to count for. And I don't know if we can actually change the forms once we obtain them. So those are interesting to say. And then in the picture, you also see like Shieldon, unknowns, and other stuff around there. I can't really see that much, but anyways. But yeah, definitely an interesting event. Super excited to hear how like all the content creators are going to be there. I'm sure that Mystic 7 and all those are going to be there. I think Jake Tequila is also affiliated with Niantic now. So they're definitely going to be flying around all the GoFests and things like that to participate in those events.
Sweet.
So get out there, guys. Get out there and be excited, hopefully. Before we move on to the next piece of topic that we have here, I do want to actually add something to the podcast, or at least something that I completely forgot about. just recently, both the Lord Up podcast and Trainer Tips had the chance to talk to their brand new community manager of Pokemon Go. Trainer Tips had a special video talking about the points and things about community with the community manager. I would highly, highly, highly recommend go ahead and go watch the video. He asked the most important questions. I'm sure there could have been way more questions to ask and things like that, but it is something that you do want to watch if you know that the changes were based on a lot of different things. I'm gonna just point out like things that I note and I took away from the actual interview. Everything that they have planned is based on data gathering and the experience of the player. If you want to have a change happen in the game, then you need to submit the feedback. If there's not enough feedback out there, if there's not, an incentive to change what has been changed, let's take into note, 6-hour community days. If there's not enough data from the 3 hours and the feedback is not enough for them to know, then they're not going to change anything. They're going to keep on going, feeling that they're still going to be able to go on with the same format. But again, I feel like it's all in a timely matter because they will receive the feedback. They'll go over to the developers, they'll go over to the actual team that looks into this. But the changes are not going to happen like right there and then. Not unless there's a super big outcry. Now, this community manager, I'm trying to remember exactly what her name is. I'm going to go to Trainer Tips real quick and see if I can actually remember her Twitter handle here. Yes, so community manager Kelsey Danger is the community manager for Pokemon Go now, or at least the lead global community manager for Pokemon Go now. And again, she's super nice. It looks to be very dedicated to the game, and she was a player just like us before all of this started for her. So she knows both sides of the coins and knowing what goes between the player base and the the company itself. So again, I'd highly recommend go into if you want to follow her on Twitter, that's fine. I think her handle is mx_danger on Twitter. But highly recommend watch the Trainer Tips video where she goes over a few things that definitely are prominent in the community right now. And the best part about it is that she was the one who initiated the interview. So she wanted to talk to Trainer Tips, load up, and be like, hey, I want to be here. I want to talk to you guys. I want to know what's going on and what you guys need to talk to your communities and things like that. So she's taking the initiative, which is something that we don't see a lot. So keep that in mind when it comes down to it. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Now let's go back into the actual news. We got, after that last piece of news, we actually don't have a lot of more news. I did say that maybe we have more, but no, we don't have that anymore. We don't know until, next
hiding
week.
it.
I know, right? Hiding it. But I wanted to actually go over the GOFest global event, actually. And more than go over it, I want to know more of a prep. I know we're a little far, so a few weeks before it actually starts. But
it's a good time to start getting ready.
Yeah, definitely. Now, things like, make sure your storage is nice and clean. You have enough Pokeballs, Ultra Balls, Great Balls, things like that to keep up with the surge of Pokemons out there. Definitely prioritize what you want to catch and what you want to raid. There's still a lot of things that comes to mind. Now, when it comes down to the Pokemons, we do have a lot of Pokemons that say, hey, you want to catch me? Like, almost...
Yeah.
Chris is like...
That was such a good way to put that.
I know, right?
Hey, you want to catch me?
But yeah, so... going over the habitats that we're going to have, like Cave Shower. Now, the habitats are going to be rotating. I believe that not every single habitat is going to have start in the same hour of each of the events starting on June anyways. So, people in, let's say, Australia, they could start on the city habitat because it's the very first one they mentioned, but we could start literally on the tundra habitat if Pokemon Go allows it or things like that. So don't think that just because we're gonna have one habitat, it's gonna be the same one for us. It's gonna be different for each region. So just make sure you keep your mind in that. So I have pulled up all the actual information, and yes, Papercut, we will talk about that. It's gonna be actually in the PPP section. But again, it's more like, what do you want to catch? What do you want to see? Like Prominent, if you want extra large candy for Magnemite, I believe that's something that you want to do. Bolter is also a very nice shiny. Hitmonchan, if you didn't catch it in the GOFest. Trash Claw Burmy is definitely a plus because that Pokemon is damn rare to catch anyways. Pidove, if you haven't seen enough Pidoves in your life. Trubbish, if you really haven't seen enough trash in your life. And Bronson for Chris, for sure, you know. So,
oh my gosh.
I wouldn't mind actually getting more Golett candy, and Litten is always welcome as a new starter for PvP, a new start for PvP anyways. Galarian Weezing being a brand new Pokemon out there in the wild, so you do want to get it. You do not want to raid for this kind of Pokemon because it's kind of like, hopefully not the thing in the end of the day. Go ahead. Any tips on the Plains one, Chris? Do you know you have it up there?
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah.
Let me take a look. I'd say, there's a bunch of Pokemon that I'd say catch everything except Trapinch. How about that? How does that sound? If you need a good Flygon for PvP, or you missed out on Trapinch Community Day, you can catch Trapinch. I'm not shaming you. But, you got Girafarig, Dunsparce, Larvitar, Numel. Numel is going to be the newest shiny there. Buizel, Trapinch, Patrat, Drillbur, Shelmet, Rufflet, Litleo, with the rare spawns being a costumed Pikachu and then the new Axew shiny.
Right.
The only Pokemon not being shiny is Drillbur. And Drillbur is still, in my opinion, a very fun Pokemon to catch. So, I got no qualms with this habitat. I think, it really depends what kind of play style you want. But yeah, I think there's a lot of good shinies in this habitat for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. The Axew is definitely one that a lot of people will go for. But even Larvitar
they're
is
flexing it hard for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Rainforest, the least of the likely ones, mostly because all the Pokemon are kind of like especially since we had Community Day Classic for Mudkip. Skirmish and Seedot really don't have a lot of viability these days unless it's a special meta. Slakoth, what's the point? Turtic and Chimchar. I mean, I think I've seen enough Sinnoh for 1 year, actually. Benefit is not a shiny, unfortunately. Carapalas being a brand new shiny. Banacle is interesting. Scarp is also a little bit viable in PvP. Rowlet is always welcome. I love that Pokemon. Pancham, I guess.
I think it's just cool that it's the first time he's in the wild. That's about it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And then the Tundra. The Tundra basically would be, if you haven't gotten your Omanite, cool. Swinub, why? Wingull, we already have an event. Meditite is always welcome because of extra large and because of PvP. Whalmer, why? Seal, you already had them. Although Seal is doing waves right now in PvP because of it.
That's like a pun.
Right? Piplup, why? Benelite, why? Choboco, we have enough in Christmas. Burmite, why? And then Popplio, which is always welcome. And then Galarian Darumaka, which we know has been in the wild before, but it's kind of one of those things in the end of the day, So prioritize what you really want to catch and what hour to choose. We have close to, a 6 or 8 hour event this time around. I believe that is from 10 to 6. So it's an 8 hour event this time around. So it's not like you're going to go super hard until the end of the night, which I kind of like, playing Pokemon at night in the park. It was kind of cool.
I will say the raids should last a little bit longer.
Sure.
Or, they may come a little bit early too.
Right.
So if you want to prioritize Axew either before or after the normal hours, because you got friends in other places, keep that in mind.
That's true. I wouldn't suggest spending so much money on it either, because Axew will eventually get his Community Day move.
Yeah.
or his community day in general, just like Dino probably is going to come, I don't know, in June or something at this point, if they really want us to go out in the summer before GoFest. This, again, is just one weekend of GoFest. We don't even know what June's community day is or what day it is specifically. So keep that in mind. And then, yeah, just like Chris said, the raids, it's going to be 1-star race on Saturday. Pikachu and Axew, so there's not incentive to do any more race after that. Unless you're in the bio. Give me. Finally, Drowsy got to me. Then we have what's attracted to insects. If you have the ticket itself, Torkoal is a pretty cool regional Pokemon that you really need. Tropius too. Tropius could be valuable in PvP too, so just keep that in mind. Specifically to the biomes, of course. And then Day 2. Now, Day 1, again, is more like just catch. There's no other incentive to do anything else because that's all there is to it in the end of the day. Go out to a popular park, city, or place where you'll get a lot of spawns, a lot of things. Safely, please. We don't want anybody to get sick. Still, there's something out there, of course. But just make sure you keep an eye on the Pokemons that spawn out in the wild for that reason. Or if you really want to go to a dense area, just, it's probably easier in that regard. That's a good tip if you comes down to it. But yeah, anything else to add to Day 1 before we move on to Day 2 there, Chris?
Yeah, not too much, I think. Just, keep as many Pokeballs as you can for Day 1 for sure.
I'm definitely probably spinning stops for the rest of the last week of May, so I can be ready for the first week of June.
Yeah, I'd say if you need to get rid of some TM spots,
right?
So you have plenty of room for Pokeballs, guys.
Hey, coming from the guy who literally overstocked for the Gold Tour. Because I was thinking that I was just gonna do catch with my Gold Plus, but then I was like, oh, I'm actually running out of space. So even with the max space, and that was actually pretty cool. But yeah, so just keep in mind what you catch. And again, guys, another tip: if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling that you're, especially because it's a hot summer days for those for the start of GoFest. Hot for us and then cold for a lot of parts of the world, but still, just keep in mind what you do, how much you play. Don't forget to hydrate. Don't forget to eat something. The Pokemons will still be there. Choose maybe an hour where that you will have a time to just rest, not to grind too hard, unless you really want to. But keep yourself healthy if you can. Anyways. Well, with that being said, of course, Day 2 is a more race center exclusive. Now, the funny thing is about this year's GoFest is that we don't actually have a lot of race to worry about. When it came to 2021 GoFest Day 2, we actually had to go over many different raids, many different things, but it was actually a little taxing for the player because we had to choose and know what we wanted to raid prior to the X hatching, and we only had so much time to do it, especially if you wanted to go in-person raiding at that point.
Yeah.
So keep in mind what you want to do and what you want to do when it comes to those raids. The lucky thing about this year's GoFest is that aside from the spawns being the entire day for that, from 10 to 6 on Day 2, the raids will only be the Custom Pikachu, the Axew for 1-star, and the mystery Pokemon that they had yet to announce for the 5-star raids. Will be in Mega Raid Legendaries. Now I'm actually hoping that that's the case. Or it could be Arceus, unless they want to keep that for EX exclusivity, if they really want to. I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
I see in Twitch chat that Papercut said should be Kyogre and raids in Seattle. I'm almost curious if they're bringing us Mega or Primal Kyogre and Groudon. I think it's a bit soon for that. I'm leaning towards Arceus, honestly. It seems like the year of Arceus, honestly, at this point, right?
Well, yeah, with the whole, with the whole aspect of how Sinnoh has been super prevalent with Legend Arceus and everything, I wouldn't mind being that. But Mega Legendary Pokemons are also like really prominent to come around. So if they're really keeping it a secret for a reason, I'm just hoping either one is okay.
Yeah, I'm fine either way. Trust me.
Yeah, definitely. So keep in mind also, don't spend all your money on raids if you don't want to. You are getting, if you buy the ticket, you are getting, I believe, where is ticket holders?
Nice song from Pure Letter.
I know, right? 9 free raid passes when you do in-person raids. So keep, like I said, keep in mind that you do have that much, and if you want to spend just a little bit more, that's okay too. But don't spend a lot just to do everything. So, and yeah, and then after that we'll have the finale on August 27th, which again we don't know anything about. We just know that it's another one-day event, if it is what it is. So that's true, Chris. That's true. But yeah, any more that you want to add to the GoFest prep? Again, we'll go over a couple more weeks just in case people are ready for it.
You know, not many I can really think of. If you're gonna be doing 5-star raids, we don't know what it is yet, but I would keep in mind setting a team when we do find out what it is ahead of time if you want to raid it multiple times.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So just make sure you have your counters ready for the legendary raids. I don't know.
Be prepared.
I know, right? I feel like with the whole addition of mega legendary megas and the whole new system here, I feel like it could be a mega legendary, and that's gonna be something that people are really gonna go out their way of doing things for that day. Arceus is cool and all, but I don't know if Arceus is gonna be.
Man. This man's saying, man, I don't really want Arceus anymore. I want a Mega Legendary."
Well, think of it this way. Arceus is a really exclusive Pokemon. And yeah, Pokemon Go Fest could be the best time to do that exclusivity when it comes down to it. But it probably won't have a shiny, and you have to raid for so many different types. I don't know if that's really worth it.
It's really rough. It's really rough. I feel like Primal would definitely make sense, but we'll see.
Give me a Primal Kyogre. Just Primal Kyogre or Primal Groudon. I don't care. Just give it to me. Although if we do find out the news of what legendary would be during day 2, which I probably think that we'll get that surprise maybe at the end of May at that point, if they really want to prepare us. If they're really just keeping it for day 2, then I don't know if people really want to prepare for it when it comes down to it. We'll do a raid guy or a battle party or something like that for the primals, if that's the case, or even Arceus if it's only one Arceus in total.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's good for prep. Now let's get into our PvP section. Get wrecked. Here we go. So Chris, how about you talk about the Pokemon Go Championships in Indianapolis, right? Yeah, Indianapolis.
To be honest, I didn't get a chance to look at too much of it. I do know a bit of the events that happened, a bit of the drama. I do know it was very exciting. I think they had around 5,000 viewers, definitely more. At some parts, very exciting. There were a lot of very prominent members in the Pokemon PvP scene, so a lot of people we already knew. Right. There were a lot of people we didn't know as well, that had a very strong footing, that I think didn't even do GBL, but they were still able to perform very strongly. So I think that's very exciting, to show that new players can succeed in the Pokemon Go PvP world. So I think that makes it seem a lot more enticing to newer players, instead of thinking, oh, I haven't played ever in PvP. I'm not even going to start. So I was very excited to see that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Sure. So first and foremost, for this year, this year's championship in regionals, we had an incredible casting crew once again. Have 20 butters, of course, or 2 old butters, I guess, is in Twitter handle. Wholesome, It was also the DeFi 250, which I am so hyped that she was actually a caster this year. She is like really good in the casting categories. She knows how to talk. She's a teacher too, but at the same time, she loves PvP Pokemon to no max. If you really want to listen to her and her strategies and things like that, go over to the GoCast podcast where they have their PvP section with DeFi 250 and Fish and a Heater, I think. And that section is just been popping off on our podcast. So I'm glad that she was able to shine in the spotlight. Thank you so much, DeFi 250, for being a community leader for us. And of course, be able to participate as one of the casters is such an amazing pleasure. Speediest Chief, of course, we already know. And Speediest Chief, as always. One thing that the Laura podcast actually mentioned is like we want Speediest Chief to go ahead and do audiobooks because his voice is amazing. Oh, yeah. I could listen
do a video book too.
I could listen to that man all day if I could, because literally his voice is just like resonating in my eyes. Like he's so calm, so professional, so things. I'm like, I don't know how he does it, but so yes, thank you for the amazing casters for putting up a great show. Just like Rick has mentioned, we peaked at a good high number for the viewership on Twitch and YouTube. And then, the game itself, like the meta, of course, we all know it's all hardcore, top meta, a lot of practices, a lot of things. Just incredible experience from all the players out there. There were some amazing, battles, some upsets, things like that people were wanting to. I watched like maybe half of it, mostly because, again, today was Mother's Day. Also, shout out to all the mothers out there and the Pokemon Go mothers. Yeah. But yes, so it was incredible to watch. And then all of a sudden, I opened Twitter, at the end of things. And guess who won that championship this year?
Dude, he's a monster.
He is. He just like somebody in our comment section actually said, he came back from an 0-2 deficit at the beginning of day 1, made it to day 2, and then win it all on day 2. Who do you think that I'm talking to, Chris? Talking about Chris.
Sorry?
Well, who am I talking about, basically? Like, who is it that
you
won?
talk about the king?
The king!
The king?
The one that wins it all, man. Holy Jesus, man. King Ivy.
He won the first year, too.
He won the Invitationals, which was basically the pre-COVID kind of Invitationals to see if Pokemon Go was ready for the big screen. But holy moly. Now he's going to Worlds, man. He's going to Worlds after all this. I'm like, holy Jesus.
He deserves it, man.
He does. He really does deserve that. Everything that he did. Everything that he does is just amazing. He knows how to really show that the PvP Pokemon is really a competitive Pokemon game that you can play on the big screen. And just like I was actually telling Chris before the podcast started, is that one thing that Pokemon Go has that a lot of the other one doesn't is the entry to actually play the game. Now, of course, there's a lot of things that you got to take into account. The catches, the extra large candies, the ability to get the exclusive move and things like that. That's understandable. But if you really want to start in PvP, at least in Pokemon Go, you know that you can do it because you can catch whatever you want and play with whatever you want when it comes down to it. We saw some wacky teams during the not the actual like top 8 or day 2, but in day 1, people with Sylveons, Gengars, Machems, things were actually going about. Now, of course, I'm not saying that they won because Shadow Swampert is a menace. But that's the thing, there's a lot to go when it comes to Pokemon Go, and right now I feel like they're also testing the waters with just being the Great League meta, which is the 1500 cap max Pokemons and things like that. But I hope that in the future, with added abilities, maybe Ultra League and Master League could be a valuable part of the Pokemon Go PvP championships in that regard. Which I don't mind, because the level of entry to those are not incredibly high, but you do have to grind the game, just like in any other game if you think about it. The BGC, the TCG, Pokemon Unite, you have to grind the game to know what you're doing. Pokemon Go has the same things, but you do have to spend the dedication to know what you're going to go forward with. So, again, an amazing performance from all the casters, all the players. Congratulations once again to Keen IV to winning it all. I cannot wait for Worlds now because I know that it's going to be a stack World Championship for sure. So, London is gonna have its king probably. So, anything else you want to add, Chris?
All I'm saying is, there's going to be a lot more eyes on Pokemon Go.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're not into Pokemon Go for the competitive aspect, this is still good for you. The more eyes on Pokemon Go, the more Niantic is going to have to pump into the game for you. So, yeah, I think it's very awesome.
That's right. So, keep in mind what to do. And, if you want to, there's many different places that you can go to really ask yourself, can I be somebody like, the players that go to the regionals, the players that play on the big screen. There's many places out there. We're going to shout out a few of them. Go Stadium is a great resource and great place to practice play when it comes to GBL or even Silt Arena. The Silt Arena is also a great place to talk about and actually practice PvP in a more restricted format ways because they have different cups every month. They have different things that they're doing. And then we have PvP Poke if you want to know like the website that actually helps us know the matches more in depth with turn-based simulations and things like that. Places like that you can always go to care and know more about Pokemon Go PvP in general. So go to the websites, ask yourself what you want to do, and yeah, go out there and battle it out just like any other trainer out there, And then the core meta, just like Pepperco was saying, a lot of Sableye and Registeel. Obviously. Registeel is just a super techy Pokemon. Sableye being a super hard-hitting Pokemon, squishy but hard-hitting. Swampert, Walnut, or Welner, one of the two. And then many other Pokemons out there that just shape up the meta in the end of the day. So again, congrats KNIV. And then let's move on. Pokemon Go Championship.
I will say, big congrats to anyone that even competed, though.
Oh yeah,
definitely very fun from what I was, told and from the clips I saw.
The community was really, really in favor of this year, or at least this month for sure. So, yeah. All right, Chris, give it to me. Fractions.
Okay, 1/2 is half.
What?
Any fractions. But Switchmasters, I was informed today by our leader, Captain Shook. We have been cemented into the silver tier. I cannot wait. Our goal is up. So hopefully we hit the ground running and we're able to, kick everyone's booty. Definitely looking forward to silver tier though.
Oh yeah. Well, prepare because now you're gonna see more and more like really strong players out there. So keep in mind.
Oh yeah.
Keep your practices going. When is the season start again for you guys?
I'm actually not sure. I should know by the next podcast.
Okay, cool. Well, that being said, congratulations to Smashsters for a wonderful performance. Keep going at it, guys. There's always a good chunk of things to do. And then last and not least, we actually want to add a few more things to the podcast starting today. We actually now have a dedicated Twitter that we're going to have. Right now, it is the podcast Purified. I don't know why it did it that way when I actually was making the handle. But that's at Podcast Purify. I will switch it to at Purify Podcast once I get the chance to. But make sure that will be our brand new Twitter handle. I'm actually going to put our socials right here, right now. At Purify Podcast or Podcast Purify on Twitter. Myself still at Pure Letter Go and Chris at PKMN. Trigger, please. Before we move on to more of the socials and other things, of course, I just want to mention that now we're going to ask you some questions, and we're going to post that on Twitter if you guys want to answer them, or you can email us when we get to our email section here. But I want to ask the community now questions about what you're more excited or things like that. So this week's question of the week, or topic question of the week, will be, trainers, what are you the most excited for this year's Global GoFest? What are your goals, and what are you planning of catching and getting? Chris, what do you have for me? What do you really want from the Global GoFest?
Shiny Axew.
But that's like everybody's like.
You didn't tell me I had to be special.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
but
my
do you
gosh.
have like anything else that you might think aside from like the most prevalent Pokemon that you want to catch?
I'm currently sitting at 9,300,345,000 dust.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to hit 10 million after GoFest. If I'm already there before GoFest, I'd like to get another, 500,000 Stardust.
Okay.
I know that's asking a lot, but
that's your goals.
I'm gonna be catching. Yeah,
that's for sure. The lucky eggs and the star pieces are gonna be on during the event anyway. So
yeah.
As for me, yes, actually was a prevalent Pokemon, but I'm actually excited about Numel. Shiny Numel seems pretty cool. I love his shiny evolution too, Camerat.
And Mega.
Mega Camera, yeah. So I'm hoping to get a good one, maybe a Hondo or Shando if I can. I wouldn't mind either or, but we're definitely going to be I'm going to go for that one for sure. And then, other shinies out there are still pretty good to go. So again, trainers, if you want to actually answer to this quick topic question of the week, head over to our Twitter or the dedicated Twitter for the Purified podcast again. We'll definitely keep it out there, and Chris and I will keep an eye on any of the answers out there. So, and then of course, if you want to email us a more prevalent email about it, we do have the purifiedpodcast@gmail.com if you want to get there. And one last thing before we end the podcast this week. As you guys know, the community day is fast approaching. But one thing that they said that you are not able to gift a ticket to whoever you want to gift a ticket to the Community Day special research. So for this week, I am doing a giveaway. I'm going to do something on the actual Purified Podcast Twitter. And this will be one lucky winner will have a chance to get a ticket to the special research of Golems or Alolan Golems Community Day for this month. All you have to do is follow and retweet the post of the giveaway, and we'll announce the winner by next week's podcast. So starting today on this live podcast, I know that the podcast feeds are gonna be going out on Wednesday. So by that point, I hope that everybody is out there for it. The Twitter handle will be out there for you guys. So again, go out there, follow and retweet. We'll choose one lucky winner, and then we'll do the gifting when the ticket goes live and things like that. So,
dude, yeah, that's awesome.
That's wonderful. Yes. So, with that being said, anything else that we want to add for the podcast, Chris?
Nothing I can think of, dude. But yeah, the regionals for Indianapolis was just insane. Yes. So I'm definitely really happy with how the game is, going right now.
Excited for the future of Pokemon Go for sure, especially PvP. I'm really excited for that. But once again, thank you so much for everybody listening to the podcast. We really appreciate it. Again, you can follow us on other social medias. Again, I'll just clarify the Purified Podcast, Pure Let It Go, or Pokemon Trigger, please. Right now, it is the podcast Purified. I'll change it once this goes over. You can email us info or anything you want to or an answer to our question, purifiedpodcast@gmail.com. You also have a dedicated Discord. If you go to our fees on the podcast services fees, you actually are able to get into those. I think if you are on live, you actually can use ! Discord and you'll get a link to our Discord. And then all our podcast services fees like Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, you can always check us out there. If you can leave us a review, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much in advance. And don't forget to check us out at the purifiedpodcast.com, the Professor Network. All right, Chris, with that being said, I think you can take us away for the night.
All right. Whether you were competing catching, collecting shinies, whatever you did this week in Pokemon Go. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys are looking forward to Pokemon Go Fest and, starting to collect items and get ready for Pokemon Go Fest. So we'll see you next week. If you guys want to enter the giveaway on Twitter, be sure to join. And, we'll see you guys next week, same time. Peace out, guys.
Keep purifying them. We'll see you guys next week.